Hello all, welcome back. This is really the first video of the new year, and it kind of shows I'm a bit rusty at this. I make a few mistakes in this and I just keep them all in. If you don't like this kind of video, then you might want to fast forward a couple of bits. In this video, we eventually in the end get Chrome connecting to our server and delivering not one but two pages, because one is actually delivered through an iframe, and that's kind of shown up in that corner just there ish. You should be able to see it. I'm moving up the road there. So that's the sort of finished product that we get at the end of it. And yeah, so there's a couple of sort of mistakes in the middle. I have a cheat sheet and things, but things don't go quite the same way as my sort of test project that I did a couple of weeks ago. These things happen, and luckily they're all caught on tape. And so you can watch the farce that is the web server part 2 after the fade. So last time we left off, we had a multi-client chat, and that was at port 54,000, and we could connect using PuTTY or whatever client we wanted it to connect to. What we want to do now is we want to create a web server that is going to run on port, say, 8080, and is going to serve up the web pages. Now, in this video, we're only going to be doing the text web pages, but we'll get to doing images in the next video. So I'm going to get rid of some of these things here. First of all, the TCP listener. I'm not sure that we need certain things in here. So FD set, where is FD set? FD set is located in WinSock 2, so we need that in there. Do we need these strings in here? I don't know if we do need these strings in here. So let's get rid of, actually I don't think we need that one or these in here. So I'm going to remove these because I don't think we need them in here. We're not using them in there, but we are using them in TCP listener CPP. So I'm going to put them in there, okay? Because you want to just include the bare minimum header files per header file. It's always a good idea to do that, and then put the headers in the CPP files. Okay, I don't think I need any more in there. Let's see if that compiles. Pretty sure it will. And okay, so that's compiled. I was pretty sure it was going to compile anyway. So I'm going to create a new header file here. So create new item, and then this one is going to be our web server. So I'm just going to call it web server. And that's going to be our header file. And our header file for that is going to be pretty similar to this one here. So I'm just going to grab all of this, copy it, and then paste it in here. And instead of multi-chat client, I'm going to change that to web server. And I'm going to change this to web server as well. And what else do we need to change? We don't need to change anything else. And now what we need to do is we need to implement these functions inside our C++ file. So I'm going to create a new C++ file here. So I'm going to call it CPP, and I'm going to call it web server. And I'm going to include our web server. And then I'm going to implement these functions here. So these are the parts that handle when we get a message or not. Okay. And okay. And then this is going to be web server. So fairly standard stuff. Rid of the virtual. And get rid of that there. Okay, so that is that's the sort of basics in there. Now, I'm not going to bother with this just now in this video, so we're going to concentrate just on this function here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this at the top. And it doesn't really matter where we put these in the file. They're all declared in the header file anyway. Okay, and now in main, instead of multichat.h, I want to include web server.h. So that means that everything else here is not going to work. So I'm going to change that to web server, and change it to web server, and I'm going to change that to port 8080, and this is going to get changed to web server, and this is going to be web server. All right, so again, not much has changed inside here. Not much has changed inside here, except that I have a web server instead of a multi-chat client, multi-chat server. And I've also changed it to port 8080. Now what this means is that for our client, we're actually going to be using this for our client. So this is, of course, Google, that most people are familiar with. Well, this is Google here, but this is the Chrome web browser. You could use any browser you want. So if you want to use Firefox, Edge, whatever you want to choose, this is going to be our go-to web server. So if you type in localhost colon 8080, it will try and connect to the local host, and of course it will not reach anything inside the local host. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get it to say something back to the server, get something to say back to the client, I should say. So go back to our, let's get rid of the multi-chat client, we don't need the listener there, and we're only interested in this one here. So the client is going to send in a message, and the message is going to be in the format something similar to get, and then it's going to be some document. So let's say it's index.html http/1.1. That's the sort of format of the first line when you send something to a web server. That's what it sends is an actual request for a document. And this is how it works. This is the hypertext transport protocol. So hypertext is the HTML part of it, the hypertext, and then transport protocol is how a message is formatted when it gets sent back. So what we're going to do is, that's the sort of format. So what we have to do then is we have to parse out the document requested, open the document in the local file system, write the document back to the client. So that's the sort of steps that we need to do. But for now, all we're going to do is when we get a request in, we're going to send something back to the client. So in order to do that, I have a cheat sheet here because I need to know exactly how to write out the format of the response. And in order to do that, sorry, a bit of crinkling there. I need to, I basically need to copy some things out here. So I'm going to add include string include IO stream include stream as well. And then down here, I'm just going to write out a reply back. So I'm going to do standard O string stream, O string stream. And then I'm going to write this out to the client. Now this is the bit that I need to sort of cheat on. So I'm going to do OSS http/1.1 200. Okay, so this is the response back that says that this is fine, that everything worked okay as expected. So I'm going to do 200. And I'm going to do that. OSS cache control no cache private. Not entirely sure why that has to go in there, but it does. And then OSS, this is the part where we specify the content length, and the content length is just going to be the word hello, which is 5 letters. So I'm going to say content length. So it's going to be 5. And then finally OSS one blank line. You add one blank line and then you can put in whatever you want to put at the end of that. So that's going to be OSS hello. So now all I want to do is I want to send that back to the client. So I do send and then I specify the socket. Oh, except I don't use send, I use, what do I use? TCP listener. I use send to client. Okay. So I use send to client. So the client socket, which is going to be client socket. The message, which is going to be OSS dot stir dot c stir. So the first part there says go get me the C++ string from that, and then I want to get the C string from that. So that's what that part is there. And then the next thing is the length, which is OSS.str plus dot size plus 1. And that's it. That's all I want to do to send it back out to the client. So remember, our client over here is our web server. So I'm going to run this, and it's going to run, and everything's good to go. And then I'm going to go back over here and I browse using my Chrome browser, hit return, I don't get anything back, nothing happens. Let's do output equals oss.str int size equals output dot size plus 1, and then we'll change that to output dot c string, and we'll change that to size. Okay, because it doesn't know the content type. I think that's the right content type. Text, let me just check. Text plain. Okay. So I'm pretty sure this is the right format here. Well, I know for a fact it's the right format, but I'm pretty sure I've got the format correct. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I've got an extra line in there. That's why it's throwing it out. Everything's fine. It's fine. Okay. So if we go back to here and then do localhost 8080, sends it to the client, and then the client says hello. There you go. Okay, this is working. Yes! Haha! Defeated by a /r/n. Maybe I should have checked that first of all. Maybe I won't leave this in. Maybe I'll fast forward it. I don't know. If you're watching this and you're listening to me going fast forward, then yeah, clearly I didn't fast forward it. Okay. Okay, so that is the basics of it there. So if I want to have like h1 slash h1, so that length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if I change that to 14, and I change that to text HTML, and then I run it, and then I refresh this page, you'll see that hello is in there, and if I do view page source, you see that we have our text in there. So everything's working. This is good. However, we do need to we can't just keep hard coding pages in here. So what we need to do is we need to be able to get documents from the local file system. So let us go into, if if we right click here and then do open folder in Explorer, and then we'll do new folder root, root, and I am going to open this in Visual Studio Code, I think. So let me go here, cd here, H here, and then we're going to do code dot. The reason I'm doing code is because Visual Studio Code is actually quite good at doing HTML, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do the new file, index.html, and that is going to have a doc. Where's my doc type HTML? There we go. Just get rid of that there. Okay, so page title, Barebones web server. We don't have a main.script, we don't have a style sheet, and we don't have that. And then we'll do h1 hello world, and then we'll have an unlimited unsorted list, list item. This is list. Okay, so that is our web page just for fun, for funsies. And now what we want to do is we want to open that document in the local file system. In order to do that, we need to do include fstream for the file system, and we want to load that into memory. Now I also have a kind of cheat here as well. So the first part's easy, second part not so much. Okay. So I want to say standard if stream because we want an input file stream. So we'll call our file stream f. And then our website is located at www.root plus, and then it's going to be our index.html file. And we'll sort that out later on with the ability to choose what file you want. And now we should check to see if it's good. So we can do like f.good. Then we can do all this kind of thing in here. So what we might want to do actually is, let's say standard string output equals 404 not found, something like that. Okay. So if it's good, we want to do all of this. Size, let me get that right in a second. So one that there, one that there. So equals output.size plus 1. Okay, that's fine. And then here we want to do size equals output.size plus 1. So what are we doing here? So if there's an issue, actually let's change that to h1. Okay. So we're going to check to see if the file is good, and if the file is good, we're then going to load that document into the file system. We're going to load that document from the file system and read its contents in there. Otherwise, we're going to output the file. Sorry, If it's good, we're going to output the contents in here. And if it's bad, we want to output the contents inside this message here. Right. So let's get rid of this here. I'll leave that in a second. So the size is that. Actually, that's not right. Size is. Yeah, we don't need this size there. Input size equals. Let's just do that as 0. And we'll get back to that in just a second. I'll get back to that in just a second as well. And then what we want to say is instead of outputting this here, we want to say we want to output. Let's do this as content rather than output. So we want to output the content in there, and then instead of the content length being 14, what we want to say is it's going to be content.size that, okay, because we know what size the content is because it's going to be that, so we don't need this here. And then the output, so what we're sending back to the client is going to be oss.string, and then our size is going to be output.size plus 1. So that's going to be the total length, including the header. So all of this plus 1. Okay, and that's that. So this part here is the tricky part. So if the file is good, we want to return back the contents of the file. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do standard string. So this string, the contents here, is we're going to iterate the stream buffer based in the file, and then we're going to get all the characters from there, and that's going to read the contents in there. This is if you're coming from like C# or Python or any of these languages that are good at string processing, this seems like the most archaic way of doing things. I'm sure there's a library out there that handles this better, but this is the pure C++ version of it, and I can't remember it, so that's why I've got it written down here. So iString, iStream buff, buff iterator char, and then whatever the file is, which is f, comma, and then standard blah 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 iStream buff iterator char. Sure, okay, that's what that does, and then we say content equals string. So we're just going to read that into this temporary variable here, and then we're going to put it inside our content, and then that's going to hopefully give us a web page. All right, so now if we go back to here and I just hit return, I get 404 not found, which is kind of good. It means that it's kind of working. Index.html. So it doesn't like where that web page is. So if I set a breakpoint there and then I hit return here, you can see that we have f. So f is not good. So whatever it is, www index.html, it doesn't like that. I'm pretty sure that's in the place that it should be, or maybe it's in the previous position. Should it be in there or should it be in there? Barebones. Everyone's web server, www root. I think it should be in there. Let's find out. Sorry. So the current path. I've got a funny feeling I've got this in the wrong place. Let me just put this back up one level. So if I put that into, so if I go to here and then take out that one, bring it back up, put it inside the same folder. Oh, code. It's not gonna like it because of that. Try again. Try again. Is it because I'm running this? No. Cancel. Why? 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 Okay, let me try that again. Let's do cut. And then I want to go back up to here and then paste that in there. Because I never closed it, that's why. Let me just close that. I'm going to do f.close. Probably will fix it. Oh, why am I getting a double bounce there? That was weird. So the message that I'm getting, so this is the message that comes in from the client. So this is what's coming in from your web browser. So get index HTTP, localhost there, keep alive, blah, 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 blah. These are all the things it can accept. Okay. And then I hit F5 again and I get it back again. So the message is, oh, favicon.ico. Oh, that's interesting. So it always goes and tries to get the icon. Huh. The more you know. Okay. All right. So let's go back with that. Actually, what we need to do is we need to say int error code equals 404, so we can output that error code. And so we'll change that just now. Error code that. Maybe we'll change that at some point to there, but error code equals 200. So if we have a web page, then we want to send that there. All right, let's figure this one out. So let's go back up one here. Just create another folder. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to argue with it being getting stuck there. And I'm going to put that in there, and then in here. Then maybe I can get rid of this now. Probably won't let me. Yeah, it won't let me. Okay, so what I've effectively done is moved that www root folder to the same place as the solution file. All right, okay. And if I run this now, sure. I'm hoping this is now going to be good. So I'm going to do refresh. It's good, and it's not good. So where the heck is it then? Oh, that's why. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I think that is the right place. Let me get rid of that one. Okay. It did actually warn me that there was an illegal escape sequence there on line 14. And I just kind of ignored it, but maybe I shouldn't have ignored it. Hello world, there you go. Okay, that was it. So this is a list. Hello world. Everything's good. We're all good to go. This has been a bit of a disaster of a video. Sorry, folks. It was supposed to be a quick 10-minute video and okay. So that's fine. We don't want that there. I want to parse out this. I want to parse it. So when we saw the message that comes in, if I go back to here, refresh, and you see that we get a message here, and then the first line of it is this part here. So I want to parse this part out, and I just want to get index.html. And again, I've got a little cheat sheet here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to parse it out, and I'm going to split it out by spaces. And for that, I also need to include vector. So vector is just like a list. For those of you who are not familiar with C++ terminology, for some reason they call it vector. I don't know. I'm assuming there's some reason for it. If anybody knows the reason why they called it a vector and not list, let me know in the in the thing below. All right, so for this I need, I think I need iStream, or maybe I can get away with it because I have SStream there. Let's see. So I want to parse out the document requested. So I want to say iString stream, standard iString stream, ISS, and then this is going to be message. And then I want to vectorize that string. So I want to say vector string results. So whatever, let's call that parsed. So call it parsed, and we're going to pass in iStream iterator string ISS comma iStream iterator tor string, that there, and of course I need to add standard to everything because why not? You know, why make it as clear as possible to do something? Yeah, I think I need iString as well. Include iStream. It does. iStream iterator. Stream buff. Is that what I need as well? What else do I need here? I need results. I need iStream iterator. iStream iterator. It does have an iStream. Is it iStream buff iterator? No. Let me just rebuild that. No, it's definitely iStream iterator. Stream, iStream, OStream, FStream, RealStream, stream buff iterator. That's why. There we go. Okay, so that's that gone there. Why is that complaining? Oh, because it's just still from the last compilation error. Okay, so that now gives us all the strings separated by spaces. Okay. So if parsed dot size is greater than or equal to 3, so in other words we have that get, so the get verb, or we have the verb actually because it could be get, put, delete. So we have get whatever the document is, and then whatever the format of that message is, so HTTP 1.1. So if it's greater than or equal to 3, actually should technically be greater than. Sorry, it should be technically equal to, but never mind. Or and parsed 0 equals get So instead of opening that file stream, what we're going to do is we're going to open another file stream. So standard string. Actually, let me move that down to here. Let me take that out there. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. Take all of this. Put that there. And put that there. Okay. And take that out there. Put that there. And move that there, that there. Okay. So if it's greater than that, and so on and so forth, that then goes in here, like that. Okay. So we want to get this out here as well. So I want to then say that is going to be plus parsed 1, because the first element of the array is going to be the actual page. Okay. So compile now. Compile. Please compile. There we go. And we compiled that there. And now we're waiting for something to appear. So if we now do index.html, we get that there. But if I change that to foo.html, I get 404 not found. However, if I bring back up my code again, and let's create a new file called foo.html, doc type. Why is that not doing this? There we go. Foo doc. So we can have that there, foo doc, and then let's do index in here, and then we could do an iframe. Foo.html. So now we have our iframe in here. So this should pull in both documents, I'm hoping. So if I go back to here, it's running. So there haven't been any code changes, but if I go to foo.html, I get foodoc. But now if I go to index.html and I hit return, I get hello world, this is a list. And inside my iframe, I get foodoc. There you go. Fully functioning text only web server. Yeah, kind of neat, I think. I think it's kind of cool anyway. And I think that's all we need to do. Oh, there is one last thing we need to do. So the file name is going to be let's not have that there. Let's take that out, and then we'll have standard string HTML file equals index.html. So let's change it to that, and then we'll say if that is that and that is that, we'll then change that to HTML file equals parsed 1. Okay, and we'll take that out, take that out, and we'll take that out and put that in HTML file. Okay, so now if we go and browse to the web server, there we go. If we browse the web server without specifying the file, well, that didn't work. It should bring us bring us the HTML file, which is slash parsed. Okay, so it's only asking for slash. Let's say if HTML file equals HTML file equals /index.html. And again, you can make this a configuration file. I'll just type this up a wee second here. You can make this a configuration file and then, make it an HTML file or an HTML file or a PHP file if you want to do that, get a bit exciting. All right, so now it's now asking for HTML and it should load the page there. So again, if I go into here and it loads that, if I do /foo.html, it goes to there. If I do the wrong, change that to fog, I get that. And you notice that we have our foo doc down here as well, which is part of that iframe. And everything works. All right, that was a bit of a long journey there. Okay, well, that was a bit of a long journey. Apologies there. A few glitches and things like that. This is what happens when you take some time off. You end up having to use some cheat sheets and things. And yeah, so hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. But we now have a fully working website. I would not use this web server for production purposes. This is only for if you're doing a game, for example, and you want to include something like a web server for debug purposes. So for if you're building a C++ game and you want to have access to list all the characters in a particular zone or do heat maps or that kind of thing, then this would be perfect for that. As far as let's make a web server, make it the most robust thing and use it for a banking application, hell no. This is not what that's for. So I hope you've enjoyed this series of videos so far. Don't forget to thumbs up if you like it. We're going to do images next time, by the way. Don't forget to like, share with your friends as well. And if you haven't subscribed already, then I invite you to subscribe already. And you can follow me on Twitter at Codehoose, CODEHOOSE. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.